Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. Your Miami Heat. Doesn't matter the year, doesn't matter the situation, doesn't matter whatever, dude. Anytime the Miami Heat lose to the New York Knicks, it hurts, man. It stings. I don't like it. I don't care for it very much. I don't like that rat-infested fan base coming into the Heat's building, in fairness, taking it over today, basically like their little Airbnb, and watching Miami Heat squander a 19-point second-half lead to beat the Heat 116-112 in OT. The most you could say was courtesy of was Jalen Brunson, who scores 26 of his 31 points tonight and was just carving up Miami in the second half. And mind you, this was a guy, just did this today without even getting to the free throw line. That was kind of the crazy thing. Just clutch basket, slowly bringing his team along while Miami was pooping the bed, as they have just become experts at. You give Miami a 15 to 20 point lead, and I'll show you a team that knows how to blow it. It really is unfortunate, because this is going to be part of this whole thing with Miami finding its way in whatever this season is going to be remembered for. I think this is the legacy of this season is certainly going to be remembered by, hey, this was the year that the team broke up with Jimmy Butler. And that's definitely going to be A1 on the gravestone and the obituary. But when you give the autopsy of the season, you're going to be like, man, this is a lot of big leads you guys blew. Man, you guys couldn't hold a fourth quarter lead to save your life. What the hell went on there? And for the life of me, I don't know. You could sit here and you could be, Mr. Heat Nation, who's like super proud, being like, we really gave it a good go today, everybody. We were up 19 against a Knicks team that had their full allotment of players, and we didn't even have Wiggins, no Maple Jordan. And I can say that, and I've lashed out at my guy Vlad, who's a Knicks fan, and he goes, he's sending me bing bong gifts, and I'm sending not a true loss because we didn't have Maple Jordan. But we really could have used Maple Jordan today. I mean, we needed somebody else, because it was basically a two-man show on offense. Bam Adebayo was tremendous today and did a great job on Karl Anthony Towns. And, I mean, his jump shot looked as good today as it has looked in any game this season. And yet the game is wasted. And then Tyler Hero, who just is going through one of those ruts right now with his three-point shot. They are throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Tyler Hero right now. He did a marvelous job in the first half of this game, setting up his teammates, getting guys involved. Kel'el Ware, what a party that first half was for him. I mean, it was just dunks and lobs and lobs and dunks and dunks and lobs and lobs and dunks. It was a party. I was having so much fun. And you were getting big side. Tyler Hero set Bam Adebayo for this beautiful one-handed cram, and I was just like, this game is a blast right now. Dude, I am having so much fun. All of these New York Knicks fans are sad. Look at that dope in the Latrell Sprewell jersey. Look at his stupid face. But it just always feels like, and I've had this feeling a lot of the times this year, where Miami will have like this really commanding lead, 17, 16, 17, 18 points. And I'll look and I'll be like, man, there's a lot of time left in the third quarter. This feels like this feels like an entirety. But they just ran out of juice. They ran out of firepower. Look, that New York Knicks team is, what do they think? They're top 5 in scoring. And they're not as good defensively as one would think. I think probably having Karl Anthony Towns out there as your center is probably a big reason for that. But they got, amongst the 3 best two-way guys on the wings. One guy's in the backcourt, but, he'll defend up too. But, like, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, like, all those, none of those guys are slouches at what they were throwing. And I thought Tyler Hero did a pretty good job in the first half, like, especially on Bridges. He had a couple of sick baskets. He had a beautiful, and one off the glass while fading off to the side. He had one where Bridges was just all draped all over him, and he just took it to him. And I was like, man, Tyler Hero is strong, dude. He looks really, really good. But they were basically like, hey, they knew the Heat's code by the end of it. I mean, Tibbs is a really good coach. He's a really good coach, and it just felt like they were able to push Miami and any success that they were having in the paint, because that is what Miami did. I mean, in the paint was a parade in the first half of this game. Miami was getting just big slams, and Kel'el Ware was amazing, and Kel'el Ware was a force in the first half. Probably, do I want to lash out about why he wasn't used enough in the second half? I do. I do. I don't want to make this like it's a Spo's fault thing, because, I did just give him props for the last game, because I truthfully wasn't happy with the decision to come out of there with Alec Burks and Kel'el Ware, but it worked. I'm the idiot. It did work last game. And then this game, he goes out there and it's like, all right, we're going to get off to this great start. And Kel'el Ware was just a force today, dude. 6 blocks for the rookie. And it really felt like, one of his best games in a while. I just don't know why they stopped tapping into that. I don't know. It just feels to me is he perfect? No, he's 20. He's going to go through his ups and downs. That's the deal. That's part of the deal. You are supposed to allow that. And I just don't understand why Spo thought he was going to 6'4" the Knicks to death. I didn't understand that, but that windmill slam, dude. When he I was on the radio broadcast today. The reason the video's up so late today, I was on the radio broadcast today. I was doing pre and post, and just from the booth with Jack's calling it. Jack's had a fantastic call. Go look that up on Twitter, of Kel'el Ware with this windmill jam, and I'm just like, oh my God, look at that slam from the rookie. I was having so much fun today, dude, and I really wanted to send those roaches home sad, infesting the upper deck. Got to call Truly, Nolan, Hewlett, all of them, just to vaporize all the Starks and Spreewell jerseys all over the arena. Really was an infestation. But this was also a really physical game at times. There was a lot of both sides very upset with the way calls were going. Spo challenged. I will give him credit for that. He did throw a challenge out and won. Now, it didn't end up working out, because then they had to go to a jump ball, and the jump ball ended up. But I actually appreciated that from Spo in the second quarter, just because I was like, oh, the second quarter, there's no way he's challenging that. I think Kel'el Ware comes over for a block. They call a goaltend, and you're like, what? Not even close, dude. He got there, not even close. And Spo actually was like, nope, challenge it. I was like, oh, man. It really felt like in that moment, that was the one time where I fooled myself, and I was like, this night could be different. If Spo's using and winning challenges, this night could be different. But I was a fool, because it was not. And they come to the third quarter, and it was pretty much like Alec Burks or bust for the Heat. He comes out and he hits 3 big threes. Tyler just couldn't get any threes to go today. I don't think he hit his first one until it was 87, 81. He's just in one of those ruts shooting-wise. He was getting buckets otherwise, he was getting to in the paint. But overall, just struggled with his shot. The Knicks, threw a lot at him. He finished tonight 8 of 24, 22 points on 24 shots, 2 of 11 from downtown. I really only had one issue with one of the shots that he took today, because Tyler, to be fair, even with those struggles, we'll fast forward to the fourth quarter. Tyler hit a big 3-ball. The Knicks were rallying, couldn't stop Jalen Brunson. OG Anunoby was hitting big threes, but Brunson finally gives the Knicks the lead back, gives the Knicks the lead the first time at 101-103. It was an 11-0 Knicks run. and Tyler Hero hit a huge three, put Miami on top 103-101. OG then shoots a three ball, no good. Tyler, this was weird, gets the rebound and then gets an 8-second violation. I was like, what the hell just happened there? Brunson comes down, hits a three. Tyler gets the rebound. This time, he goes down. He hits a mid-range jumper, puts the Heat up 4. There's only like a minute plus left at this point. You just need to go out there and find some stops. And Miami wasn't able to do it. OG Anunoby had a putback off a missed Brunson 3. Haywood Highsmith took a 3 that looked like he had lead in his boots. Like just the 3 looked like it had no prayer. You know, like so all those role guys who would come through for Miami outside of Alec Burks, there was a Davion Mitchell missing free throws. Haywood missed a 3. Just nobody could give you that extra boost. Duncan was missing 3s in the fourth quarter. Nobody else really stepped up for Miami other than Tyler taking those big shots. And that was what was unfortunate. Thankfully, Miami, Haywood is the 3. Brunson comes down. He ties it up at 105. Hero has a chance to win it. Mid-range jumper, no good. Knicks have a chance. 3.5 left. They get bottled up. Great job by Haywood Highsmith defensively. They go to overtime. Bam Adebayo comes out. He's got OG Anunoby on him. Hits a bucket over him. And then Brunson answers. Hero comes with a floater. It's no good, but he gets the ball back. Bam Adebayo hits a sick spinning jumper on OG Anunoby. And you're like, all right. So the Heat was up 2 at that point. Bam, 30 points, 12 of 14 from the floor. McBride misses a 3. And this was the one where I was like, ugh. I didn't like that shot. And I guess you got to live with it in this day and age because people shoot 3s and you got to ride with your star. But Tyler, like, bolted down the court, pulled up for a 3, not even close. And I was like, ugh. Knicks come back. Jalen Brunson hits a 3, puts him up 110-109. And you're like, mother bleeper. And they wouldn't look back from there. OG Anunoby would get fouled by Kel'el Ware. Spo would yank Kel'el Ware. It was as barely as he played as it was, which was a little bit disappointing. I just think that you got to roll with it. And he's saying the right things in the locker room. You know, he's sitting there like, he's the coach. I'm a rookie. But he obviously made such an impact. I think you gotta find more time for him in these second halves. And I think Spo's got to trust him a little bit more. Especially in a night like tonight where you have no Wiggins, like what? I don't know, man. You're sitting there and you're just like, who do we have to? There's no way the Knicks didn't worry about what Kel'el Ware was doing. He was jumping over all of them for every dunk. So it has to be accounted for. I just think you had too many guys out there. Like Spo was sitting here. He's like, I'm going to try and grind this with Davion Mitchell and Haywood Highsmith, and those guys have showed up big. They have, but in that quarter they hadn't, and in that fourth quarter they hadn't. Alec Burks did give the Heat one more chance. He had a huge 3, but it would not be enough. Miami would come up short. I am sad. Heat unable to win 3 straight for the first time since January. They will have the Wizards coming up on Monday night. Second night of a back-to-back. I think it would show Miami a little something if they're able to do it. Big picture from this, like, Bam was very frustrated after the game. In the long and short of it, you could just say, look, the Knicks have a better roster. The Miami Heat were out there with Tyler and Bam. Nobody else was too much of a threat to them. The Knicks got their bleep together. They killed Miami in the offensive glass and paint points, especially in the second half, which, you know, kind of speaks to maybe you should have played Ware a little bit more. But this blown leads thing has been the story of the season. And yeah, that does have to fall on the head coach. I don't really know who else you want to put it on because there's been a lot of combinations and there's been a lot of different scenarios. This has been a consistent thing, and I don't, you know, you look to coaches to make the adjustments, just like Tom Thibodeau did today with some of his defensive adjustments. And, it swung the game for them. Obviously, he needs his star to be a star, and Jalen Brunson was far and away the best player on the floor today, especially in the second half of that game. So, yeah, that's a big adjustment, but he also had answers for what was plaguing them early in this game. And I just feel like Spo's been scrambling, dude. I just don't think – I think that sometimes I think the things that are easy – he makes so much harder on himself. Like, look how much it took him to, like, put Haywood Highsmith even back in these games. And it's like, well, all right, well, what were you thinking there? Duncan Robinson, same way. It's like you go away from Duncan Robinson, but he plays so well with everybody. And then it's like, you're having a rebounding issue and you're having a paint issue. Why is the 7-footer not playing? I don't know. I just think he's made these things a lot more difficult on himself. And they blow up so many times. Like, eventually, don't you just have to be like, all right, maybe I should do another method, another means to an end to make this all happen. But, it is what it is. Need Miami to bounce back. I hate losing to the Knicks. It's not drinking worthy. I'm not going to, go into the bottle tonight. I'm also just too tired to drink. I got to be up in the morning. Lose to the Wizards, though. Whew. Who knows what I might do? I might go to, hardcore drugs.